Jesus had no slaves. Let me tell you something, please. For people of color, black people, Islam is not for us. In fact, according to them, black people cannot go to heaven. Let me help you. I'm here to tell you the truth. One of Muhammad's slaves, the slaves he loved to trade, were black people. Most of them don't know their faith. If you see a Muslim telling you there is radical Islam, it's a lie. Islam is just radical. They invite you to the faith once, twice you don't do it, they could take your life.
This former Muslim-turned-preacher just made a shocking reveal about the ideology behind Islam, and it's already going viral. He is Prophet Lovey Elias of Revelation Church, Los Angeles. This is a young man who grew up inside the Sharia system, saw its gears up close, and decided to check out before it got too late. By the end of this video, you'd wish America has the spine to do the same. Watch out how he connects the dots between ancient Islamic texts, their modern tactics, and the sleepy Christian response that is letting all these anomalies happen in the first place. Let's get into it.
Sit for 1 second. I'm going to say this and I promise you I'm going to be done. Because I want you to have this and understand this. Muslims don't have a faith. Let me explain to you. If you are any intelligent person that understands history, and understands religious studies, you will see how many holes are in the narrative. It is impossible for you to believe it unless you are born in it. Because when you take the text and look at it, you will see that there's no way this can be from God. You can't be a prophet and marry a 6-year-old and consummate or cement your wedding when...
Right from the jump, you can tell the prophet isn't here to pull punches or tick boxes. What he's saying is as alarming as it is true. You can't be a prophet for all times and marry a 6-year-old, consummating the marriage at 9. If the example is supposed to apply across eras, that's a problem that doesn't go away with wishful thinking or selective memory. It's the kind of hard truth that brings to mind the Enlightenment thinkers who questioned sacred cows in Europe centuries ago. Voltaire didn't spare the church, and Lovey isn't sparing this. Look at this. It's the sort of intellectual honesty that used to define Western discourse before political correctness turned every meaningful debate into a minefield. And here's where the hard knocks gets even crazier.
9. If you are the prophet for all times, then your action should apply for all times. Jesus had no slaves. Let me tell you something, please. For people of color, black people, Islam is not for us. In fact, according to them, black people cannot go to heaven. Let me help you. I'm here to tell you the truth. One of Muhammad's slaves, the slaves he loved to trade, were black people. One of them was called Bilal, who when he died, Muslims lied to people to say that he was the first black Muslim. No, he wasn't. He was forced into it. They made him make the call to prayer, not because they favored him. He was a slave. He actually asked the person who took him from the care of Muhammad and said, will you free me for the sake of Allah or keep me? And they kept him a slave. Wow. This is a reality. So when you see a nation of Islam being black people, it is deception. But let me tell you why it works. And why Christians were weak.
The growth of the Muslim community in the West is driven by deep indoctrination and strategic ideological expansion. Taqiyya, which is the allowance to use deception to advance the cause, is not a persuasion technique that should be employed for any honest cause, especially not for religion. This isn't conspiracy talk. It's observing patterns anyone paying attention has seen, from the Ottoman Empire's use of deception in diplomacy to modern lobbying efforts in Western capitals. But that's just the beginning. You have to wonder how many comfortable suburbs in Sydney or Melbourne are slowly shifting under the weight of these dynamics, while the rest of us scroll past.
They have indoctrination. They are so strongly indoctrinated that it is not about what the book says. There's something called taqiyya in Islam. Taqiyya means I can lie to you in order to get my message across. They say act weak until you become a majority, then take them over. Right now, I've been posting this because of some things that I've seen coming. The Muslim community is growing dramatically. Here's the reason why it's growing dramatically. Number one, it is the nature of people who come from other, especially the Middle East or African continent, to produce more than the Western world. So for every household, you may have 1 or 2 kids. They'll have like 8 kids that are indoctrinated. What is an indoctrination? It's an ideology. It's a way of thinking.
True to tone, indoctrination turns faith into an ideology that doesn't bend to evidence. Most Muslims don't even know their faith deeply, yet the system keeps expanding through higher birth rates and unyielding commitment. It's like watching a cultural snowball gaining speed down a hill. It's small at first, then unstoppable. And the craziest part, it's 100% real, playing out in real time from London's Tower Hamlets to Dearborn, Michigan. But hold on, it gets even better.
In America, in New York, let me show you how we are so easy. How can New York, a place where 9/11 happened, where they ran planes into the Twin Towers and shouted, Allahu Akbar, you elect a mayor with the same belief, praying in Times Square, doing time of prayer, saying Allahu Akbar, we are taking over and you can do nothing about it. You don't understand what is happening right before you. You are trying to believe for things. They have an ideology they live by. And you cannot fight an ideology, you cannot fight an idea with faith. You have to fight it with an idea. You cannot fight an ideology with prayer. You fight it with an ideology. Most Muslims don't even know their faith. Listen, I grew up in it. I grew up around it. Some of my good friends were Muslims. Most of them don't know their faith. If you see a Muslim telling you there is radical Islam, it's a lie. Islam is just radical. They invite you to the faith once, twice you don't do it, they could take your life. According to their religion, it's fine. It's not radical Islam, that's just what Islam is. When they take over a country, if you're a Christian, you have to pay extra tax. If you can't pay tax, you either convert or die. Iran wasn't a Muslim country. Do you realize Arabic is not even Iran's country? It's not Iran's language. How did Iranians start speaking Arabic? Their symbols are Arabic. No, these guys speak Farsi. They are Persians. That's not their country, but look at what they do. That's exactly what.
Lovey expresses frustration with what he perceives as a lack of resolve among Christians. Prayer alone isn't enough, you have to fight an idea with a better idea. This hits like a cold shower in the age of feel-good Christianity that is more Hillsong concert than Augustine's City of God. Remember how early Christians stood firm in the Roman arenas? Lovey's calling for that same backbone, not the watered-down version we see today. This is where things take a shocking turn.
To show you that the world does not understand this is that I was watching a video that this imam, which is a priest, was literally saying, in Washington, we have lobbyists. We have lobbyists. We are paying them to push this idea. Imagine One day, 40,000 or 50,000 people are being killed in Iran. The next day, people are fighting to liberate Iran for whatever their reasons is. But let's think about the people getting ease. If these people get out of power, at least these people can figure it out. That is the hope. The next day, people are like, no, let Iranians decide. 50,000 people are killed, young and old, arrested, killed, murdered, because they opposed a government. What I am teaching you, I am not teaching you to have this fantasy idea. God truly, the Lord Jesus truly has to become an ideology. It has to be a way of life that you truly defend your scriptures. You defend your faith. Be willing to die for it.
Amen.
Not just shouting and making posts, but be willing. Because they are willing to do it. And they are not afraid to do it. There's this young guy who exposed Minnesota for fraud. He was in another city where some Christians were protesting, and he was there, and Muslims pulled up with cars, and some had weapons ready to kill them because they heard that they were burning the Quran. How many times have they burnt the American flag? You did nothing. How many times did they insult your Lord and you did nothing? Now, I am not calling you to be violent. That's not our way. But at the same time, we are supposed to be bold to defend our faith.
The warning is clear. Unchecked intolerance is the first weapon they are using against the West. Countries undergoing cultural and religious shifts are enough proof of the danger that exists when one side plays for keeps while the other plays nice. Think of Constantinople falling in 1453. Once the heart of Eastern Christianity, it's now Istanbul. The same slow-motion story is unfolding if the West keeps trading vigilance for tolerance theatre. And if you think that's bad, just wait.
Away. We lived in countries that we saw how this thing came in. It's usually being free and liberal that makes way for this. Tolerance, tolerance. They have no tolerance for you. If their law is so good, let them go back to their countries where it is raining. Why are they coming to you? Why? Because their idea is to take over. They're not trying to simulate. The 4 Hebrew boys were in Babylon. They never changed. They held on to their faith. And God used them supernaturally. Are you bold enough? Are you bold enough to defend your faith within yourself and outside of yourself? With intelligent arguments. With intellectual speech. Not just emptiness. We are not empty people. The African slave trade was not started by the West. It wasn't. Please hear me. Christianity had been in Africa way before the West came to Africa. They had just discovered the faith. One of the oldest, not the oldest, but one of the oldest Christian manuscripts is found in Ethiopia. Don't you know Egypt was a Christian country? Now Egypt is no longer a Christian country. It used to be a Christian country. It used to be. Why? Because Jesus went for refuge in Egypt. It used to be a Christian country. Right now, you can't even recognize.
It's saddening that Egypt was once a fluid country. Now it's unrecognizable under centuries of Iranian regiments. Iran wasn't always what it is today. First, the pattern repeats. Tolerance opens the door, then the door gets slammed shut. According to their own texts and history, black people cannot go to heaven in the way presented. Bilal was a slave, not some celebrated figure of equality. The Nation of Islam is nothing but deception wrapped in empowerment rhetoric. But why does it work? Because Christians are too passive. And the real reason behind this will blow your mind.
There was a man that was about to be executed for leaving Islam and becoming a Christian in Egypt. Yet their president is a good man. But guess what? Sharia law he can't control. They were killing so many Christians in Egypt at a certain time that those who are of the Christian faith tattooed their children so that they know they came from a Christian family. These guys don't simulate. Stop playing games with them. It's not like that. That is why this message is important. So wherever you get influence, where God has, the place that God has designed for your influence, you should be indeed planted there so that you can change the minds, not just make people's life easy, but change the minds of people. Even those who don't believe. If we don't do that, you thought COVID was bad? You thought the lockdowns were bad? We cannot accept persecution before time. People glorify persecution, not before time. No. We lived in places we saw that.
Lovi has lived it. He knows the playbook from both sides. People are tired of pretending compatibility exists when history and current events scream otherwise. We don't need more content creators. We need changemakers willing to stand in the palace like Daniel and influence the system.
In New York, in the capital, shouting death to America. Why are you here? And the government is not doing anything, and those in power are not condemning it. That is why you need to replace them. Protect your nation. That is why we need to replace these people.
Lovi's message isn't hate. It's a warning wrapped in hard-won clarity from someone who escaped the ideology. If the West keeps trading its foundations for feel-good tolerance, the outcome will not be the harmony they envision. The outcome will be worse than its irrational fear of being called racist Islamophobe. If being labelled an Islamophobe is what it takes to push these people out of the West, then so be it by all means necessary.
My son is driving now, and I was just on Instagram earlier on, and a man went to charge his car, and he was stabbed to death in the car while he's charging his car. And when the ambulance came and they were trying to patch up this man to put him in the ambulance, another person on drugs took the ambulance and drove it away. So the man died because of a city that is badly managed. Prayer is not the only thing that is going to fix it. We need prayer and action. Some of you that are sitting here, you are called to govern this state, but you're just sitting there. You don't know who is being elected. You're worried about the general election, yet the general election has no effect on your counties as you would think. Right now there's a mayoral run and people don't even know who is running. Look at how badly our taxes are. Look at how drugs everywhere, homeless everywhere. It is strategic. These people don't care about us.
Now you understand why this brutal honesty from a black ex-Muslim matters more than polite silence ever could. By now, the question isn't whether Islamists are coming with a dangerous ideology. The question is, do we still have the spine to meet it with one of our own?